Ka'alayim La, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Waha, Racha, Kodash. Shalom, shalom to the whole house of Israel. Double honors to the apostle of GMS who teach and rule well. Shalom, Wahab to the elect, the elect, the hopeful elect, those who are doing the work, all around the globe, and, those are in the law sincerely, you know, in truth and in sincerity. And Shalom, Wahab to the brothers and the sisters who are awaiting the return of our Savior, Lord and Savior Yahushua Mashiach. All right. So I would like to start with these precepts. I will share it. I'd like to start with these precepts. This is a quick live. I hope not to be long. I just want to make a couple of points. That was been on my spirit lately, and then and that will be it. I believe it's Hebrew. Hebrew 4. Right? Hebrew 4, I believe. Let me start Hebrew 4. All right, so what does Hebrew 4 say? I believe it's verse 12. Let me highlight it. So it says this is Yah is quick, right? And powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, okay? Two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joint and marrow, and is a discerner of the thought and intent of the heart. All right. So these precepts proves that when you teach the word, it could be regarding any topic. When you teach the word, this word will penetrate whoever is listening to it and will convict, because that's what it is. The word, first of all, convicts you. And once it convicts you, it now gives you the opportunity to either accept it, change whatever it convicts you about, or, be a rebel and leave it like that. But sometimes it bothers you because obviously you never heard such truth. It goes against, your core belief. But after that, after reflection and thinking and meditation and pondering upon it, you kind of like, make up your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to let whatever, like whatever sin it is, or whatever ways, or, whatever behavior of, habit pattern, I'm going to let it go. And that's part of being, renewed. I mean, being born again. Because the Bible says to renew your mind, to be born again, in spirit and in truth. And it's only by the word, and by the application of the word that we are transformed. All right. So when we teach, we don't necessarily, attack people subliminally, or we don't necessarily talk about people, while we're teaching. But it's just that sometimes I remember when I was young, I used to go to church and I used to be pissed off at one particular pastor because he used to be, straight to the point. He would talk about sin and everything. And every time I went there, I felt some type of way. Man, I was like, this guy, like he speak about me. How does he know so much about me? Who told him? But then I realized that, actually, I'm being convicted. And that's what happened a lot of the time when you see, and that's the reason why a lot of the prophet got killed, because a lot of time when they spoke, people didn't like that, because it's like the truth, man. Like he says in our precept, piercing even the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joint and marrow, right? And is a discerner of the thought and intent of the heart. So the truth kind of check the intent of your heart. The truth checks you, checks your temperature, man, your spiritual temperature, and it's very important. That's why when you in this truth, you shouldn't be biased, man. If you're a man of the Lord and you do this work, you gotta come with the truth, whether people like it or not. Now, I've been saying that, I wanted to talk about that and say that, when the brother speak or the brother teach, don't be offended, man. Don't be offended, because if you're offended, if you're offended, especially if you come, if he come from the word, from that angle, that spiritual angle, you know, if you're offended, then you will be offended in Yahushua. And the Bible says, blessed is he that is not offended in me. In fact, the word should help you change, and rebuke is never comfortable, right? So, having said that, I would like to talk about the fact that even King David was left alone, meaning like in this walk, you're gonna go through trials, man. And one of the trial that a man of the Lord will go through, is this. Like what I realized in this truth is this, right? It's easy for someone that haven't grew up with you to backdoor you. It's very, very easy for someone that haven't grew up with you to backdoor. You think about it. And it's truth. We don't. Most of the people that we meet, we didn't grow up with them. You meet them, at camp one day. You meet them at camp, and then you start building. But they're not really. They could be faking it the whole time, and you don't even know it because they haven't had that bond that you tend to have once you grow up. Once in your like early age, 11, sometimes less than that, 7, 8. Your childhood friend. It's easy to build. I'm sure that some people have connection with a childhood friend till this day. Why? Because of the fact that you know the bond is strong, man. They learn to trust each other. They went through the trial and tribulation of friendship and that. You know, so that's why you got to be very careful in this truth, man. You have to be very careful. You got to let's read Sirach. What does Sirach says? Let's read Sirach. Uh, there you go. Sirach chapter 6, I believe. Let's see what it says. Because there's a law. I realize that there's a law of fake friendship or brotherhood in this truth. And the only, I'm not gonna lie, and that's me being me. The only brotherhood that I honor and I tend to respect is that of obviously I don't know, you know, the one that I really pay attention to and I've been watching, I've been studying is the brotherhood of GMS. They remind me of that tabernacle of David because we're supposed to love each other. But in order for us to love each other, for that love to grow, there's supposed to be principle. And the Bible is full of it. You follow it to the happen within that brotherhood, and I believe GMS will understand that, and apply it. So though there's issue, I'm sure, but there's not much like as opposed to a brotherhood that has no principle, and people that then that become like a dog eat dog type of element and angle and paradigm, where people can just hurt you and then in the name of I don't know what, right? So Sirach 6, right? And then I believe 7 say, if thou would get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. And some of us, the mistake that we made is that, we in this truth, a bit of naivety, like, you want to love brothers. Let's build, because you're thinking in your mind, okay, you know what, the brotherhood, is very different from that of the world, and that though I was, backdoored in the world. I don't think I'll be backdoored in the truth, which is completely false because, just because someone wears garments and go and do the truth and go and preach doesn't mean that they're in the truth. Doesn't mean that, or at least doesn't mean that they dealt with the old snake, the worldly, the secular snake that influenced them, you know. So you got to have, when people come around you, let's say you have a camp, obviously it's already known. Don't even let them join. I don't care what it is. Don't let them join. Let them listen to it for a while before they join the camp. If they join the camp, and for brothers, most of the time, just be, cautious but don't give yourself, like, don't open your door. Like they say with these women, don't give your strength to a woman. Well, don't give your strength to a brother too when it comes to certain things. You have to study them. If they're worthy of it, yes, but if not, be careful because, like I said again, like I say, and I'll repeat it. Just because we're in the truth doesn't mean that you don't have snakes. Brothers that you got brothers that have like old ways. You know what I mean? And they're stealing the truth, and they have, when it comes to it, they're gonna be the old man. That's what I realized. So for brothers that aspire to be in the truth, do the work, have a camp, and since that we in an awakening, there'll be a lot of camp that will be on the street, I suppose. Even group of people that study together. Like, be careful who you have around you. Be careful who you bring to your house, and these things, because you don't know who is who, man. We just met in the streets. You don't know the parent. You don't know who they are. Some of the brothers, you don't even know where they live. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know where they live, man. Never been to their house. You never been around them. You don't know the friend. You don't know who they come every Saturday or whatever. Whenever you preach in the day, so they can pick and choose what they let you know about themselves. So when the time comes and they do the snake thing, there's nothing you can do about it. So let's read verse 14 of Sirach 6. He say, a faithful friend is a strong defense, or a faithful friend is a strong defense, right? So having a faithful friend is, some people have it in this truth, but it's rare, man. If you got a brother that's humble, that's willing to support you, and that you're willing to support, that's a beautiful thing. But this is a catch, though. They say a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that have found such and one have found a treasure. So if you found a good brother in this truth, hey, that's a treasure, man. That's your treasure right there. You better keep it, But let's read quickly, Sirach 30, I believe Sirach 37. But let me go ahead and check Sirach 37. Sirach 37. You got that type of friend as well in the truth. It's always both ways, right? Always both ways, man. Every brother is not a brother in this truth. Let's keep it real, man. Every brother is not a brother in this truth. So he say, every friend, I'm his friend also. So you got a brother in this truth that will call you every day, whatever you do the work, but they're not your friend, man. They have ulterior motive. And when the time come, or even the Most High might show you that through dreams, or he will create a scenario, a live one, where you're gonna see who the person, basically the true color will manifest, right? See, but there is a friend which is only a friend in name. You see? So there's friend that act like, they're your friend, but they're not your friend, man. And soon they will turn your enemy. You say, it is not a grief unto death when a companion and a friend is turned to an enemy. You see that really pain, because the brother was around you faking the funk for a season, and then when the Most High, created a scenario for you to see what's what, boom. And what they do is that they'll create like a narrative, because you'll be like, what have I done to this brother, man? What have I done to the brother? But they'll create a narrative, I'll give you an example. If you were a brother, right, and then you probably rebuked him, he didn't like it, and that. Well, he didn't like it. At least there's a motive. He didn't like it. You rebuked him about something he did and he didn't like it. But he told you, you had many meeting or counseling and even argument on the phone about that and blah, 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 blah. And then you decide to part your ways. That's understandable. A brother like that, if he comes to it, I can even, say, you know what, we had our fight and whatever, but we can be cool. We can be cool. But a brother that you don't even know what you did to him, and then they change like that, that's the dangerous one. That means they weren't real. And there's a lot of them in this truth, so you got to be careful. Because there's brother that in the world, they used to be like, for example, I don't know if you've been, at school, you will have a guy that's very good in all the subjects. So you got people around him, but they're not with him because they like him or whatever. They're with him because of what he can give them. But once they go past that season and they go back to life and they're working or whatever, they don't care about the guy. They're already using for, and that's what happened in this truth. So when that comes, some people date that. Some people, they'll be around you in the world. I don't know if you know this type of brothers. They'll be around you because you probably go, some money, or you can get them gal, or you can get them whatever you can do for them, right? Or you can give them the weed. You got the best weed, so they'll be around you. But once they pass that, they don't. That's because the friendship weren't real. Well, guess what? In this truth, it's the same thing. You got brothers that will come around you because obviously you can maybe help them in anything. I don't know what it could be, but you can help them. But once that time when once they pass that season, they will reveal their true self, and most of the time they can't even explain to you why. But they will come up with a narrative though. But if you're wise and you listen to them closely, you'll be like, nah, this guy, man, But there's no reason. What is it? What is the real reason why you left the brother? So we have to be very, especially in this time, man, in this time. And that's why if you find yourself in a situation where, you're riding it out with few brothers or with one brother or whatever, or you're on your own, because I know there's brothers that are doing the work on their own. It's a good thing. Let me tell you why it's a good thing. The Most High, man, the Most High is something else. If you're in this truth, you're going to be tested. And if you're serious, the Most High will always get them fake brothers from around you, man. And he will chastise you as well because you have to learn to be on your own. And I will give you an example. Because we're talking about King David all the time. King David is the greatest, greatest, man. But what happened to King David, man? What happened to King David? Let's go to 1 Samuel 23. And these are things that we should talk about. We shouldn't shy away from it. And we shouldn't be afraid to speak about it. And we shouldn't care about no backlash or whatever, because people will talk about you anyway. So you might as well, you got to be a man of the truth, man. I'd rather be hated because I speak truth, because I have no problem rebuking the brother if I have to, or, sometimes misjudged for this truth. I'd rather, because at the end of the day, everything is recorded. Look, if I'm faking this thing, the Most High will, oh my Lord, he will expose me, man. He will expose me in a very good fashion. You know what I mean? Like Jake, you know how Jake can expose someone. That's how the Most High will expose. So don't worry, be real and be sincere in the truth, man. But let's read that one quickly. 1 Samuel 23. Okay. 1 Samuel 23, we're going to read it, verse 14, and say, and David abode in the wilderness in strongholds, you see, and remained in the mountain in the wilderness of Ziph, and so saw him every day, but Yahweh delivered him not in his hand. So the Most High got you. The Most High is just building you, right? Because when David came out of that situation, he had, I believe, 400 or 500 men. Strong men. You know what I mean? So the Most High got us, man. We should carry on, do the work. When you came on your own in the work, so you should know that. And, it's good to be in that situation, because then what happened is that you rely on you and Yahweh. You don't rely on the brother, because what if the brother, look, I'd rather have a brother backdooring me right now than a brother that will backdoor me when the pressure comes. Look, if you got brothers, and also if one thing before I close out, right? If you're going to be in this truth, be real, man. Look, if you're going to be in this truth, be real. You know. Yeah, shalom to the brother, man. Hey, shalom to the brother Slim D. You know, Duval. Yes, brother. Shalom to you, bro. You know, so the brother, my life is a bit slow. That's why you won't be able to see the. But let me read the precept that you sent. You say, Ecclesiasticus 33:19, right? Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest he repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. Right? So the brother said that's real talk. Can't just be a once a week thing, right? He said Psalm 94, 8 and 11. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? That's beautiful, my brother, man. You know, beautiful precept. You know, and that's what it is. We're gonna have to learn to learn to have real brothers around us. You know, be about quality, not quantity. That's why it's good to have. Obviously, Jake is waking up. There's a lot of brothers that will come in camp, but make sure that you have that spirit where you can discern. And before they come, don't let them, you know, join the camp. And because that's the mistake I did. Don't let them be around you early. Just study them, study them. And a man of the Lord need to. And that's what I wanted to say before I close out. You know, a man of the Lord, he needs to be on his two feet, man. You need to stand on your 2 feet, on 10 toes. You need to be able to provide yourself. Look, you can't be a man of the Lord and you're a beggar. You know, now sometimes I have brothers that help me. You know, when I came in the truth, I have a brother that helped me when I came in the truth. You know what I'm saying? When I wasn't working, he helped me. So that can be done. But if a brother is around you and every time you have to spend money on him, that's a tell sign. That's a telling sign, and that's a red flag. You know, if you're in this system, you gotta work like everyone. You got brother that don't want to work for Esau. I don't want to be around Esau. But if you don't want to be around, if you don't want to be around Esau, that means you ain't gonna be eating because you're in captivity. You know, you ain't gonna be eating, man. Okay, brother don't want to do nothing, don't want to work, don't want to do nothing, but they want to leech off other brothers, and then you know they're the same brother that will go around and talk a lot of ish about the brother once they leave the brother. That's not real. Okay, that's not real. And if you a man of the Lord as well, right? You're supposed to be able, okay, to see your brother with your parent, or your parents supposed to see you with them, and nothing is changing. Okay, because I had that happen to me. I'm gonna have to be real on this one. You got brothers that say that they need truth. They're even showing that warrior, you know, energy in that. Okay, but it's like they're controlled by the parent. Now I understand that if you're young, you live with your parent, it's all good. But if you're gonna be in this truth, you're gonna have to show some sort of warriorness, man. You're gonna because if you can't stand against your parent in truth, I'm not saying be rebellious against them, but if you can't stand your parent in truth, all right, for the sake of this truth, I wonder what you're gonna be doing in Jacob trouble. When the pressure comes, you're gonna take the chip. If you can't be independent, if you can't be a warrior and live on your own and do what you have to do, you depend on your parent to eat, to sleep, and whatever. You can't go out there and do your thing. You don't have a plan B of if your parent go against you, because your parent will go against you when the time comes. If you are a man of the Lord, if you can't do that, then you're gonna take the chip because you're under the control. Okay, so it's time to be men about this truth. If you say that you want to follow the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you gotta be a man, right? So that's what I wanted to say about that. Like I said again, I'll read, um, I'll read, I'll read Hebrew 4 again, because this is what the word does. The word is the word doesn't have like sentiment or whatever. Like, it's not. We're not here to please people. We're here to tell the truth, man. But that's how you become a man. All right. Even a butterfly, before it become a butterfly, you have to go through that metamorphosis, man. And metamorphosis is painful. A baby, when the baby comes to that child, baby, my baby, the woman will tell you the pain that she has to go through for the baby to be birthed. So if you can't take pain, maybe the truth is not for you, man. You know, if you can't take a rebuke, the truth is not for you. You know, Hebrew 4:12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. Okay, piercing even to the build to the to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and to the joint and marrow, and is a discerner of the thought, okay, and the intent of the heart. So we always say shalom, shalom to the brother Duval. Okay, I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for sending those beautiful precepts, and I say shalom.